And there's a lot on this agenda for Australia. There's never been a more important time for Australia to be sitting around such a table, dealing with the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, the recession that it has caused and the recovery that we are building, particularly at home in Australia, with our economy being bigger today than it was before the pandemic hit. More Australians employed today than before the pandemic hit. Working together on ensuring a rules-based order that protects our trade, but also protects our seas and protects the way that countries can live and work together in a positive way all around the world. Taking on the big challenges of climate change and the new energy economy, which Australia is determined to be a very positive part of. But of course, the Indo-Pacific and securing a free and open Indo-Pacific, so central to Australia's interests, but increasingly so much more central to global stability. These will all be important topics of conversation as I engage with the leaders who are assembled here in Cornwall over the next few days. A big part of that discussion will be the big commitment that has been made and led by the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to vaccinate the world. Australia will be doing its part, as we already have been, committing some 20 million doses as part of that effort here at the G7 Plus in Cornwall. That comes on top of our very recent commitment of $100 million US in support for the COVAX initiative, working together with the Prime Minister of Japan, Yoshisuga. And I commend him for his great leadership on that initiative. That, of course, comes in addition to the significant work we are already doing in our region, supporting our Pacific family and up in Timor-Leste and throughout Southeast Asia. These 20 million doses will go to support doses in our region to ensure that we continue to exercise our responsibility as part of a broader global responsibility to combat this virus. Just before I take questions, I just want to assure people that we continue to stay in close contact with the situation in Victoria, in particular the terrible floods which have already claimed 2 lives. And we extend our sincere condolences to the families who have lost loved ones there. If it's flooded, forget it. That's the clear message. The federal government will work closely with the state government. The acting Prime Minister back in Australia, Michael McCormack, is liaising closely with the Victorian Premier to ensure that the normal disaster recovery support will be flowing in partnership with the way that has been organised with the state government in Victoria. And I'm also pleased to see that more than 150,000 doses of the vaccine, a record day. We're almost to 1 million doses in eight days now. And we're going from 2 in 5 Australians who are eligible for the vaccine, and we're getting pretty close to a quarter. And so we'll continue to surge forward with the rollout.
Prime Minister, there have been reports that Biden is going to lobby the G7 to rebuke China over a number of issues, the treatment of the Uyghur people, but also economic coercion measures against Australia. Is that your understanding of what's going to occur, and what's your reaction to those reports?
Well, we've always welcomed the great friendship and support we have from our ally, the United States. We've stood with them firmly over a very long period of time, and we greatly appreciate their leadership and the alliance that we have with them. Here in our discussions over the next few days, looking forward to particularly pursuing our relationship when it comes to our defence cooperation, our technology cooperation, the work we're doing on energy technology and supply chains, critical supply chains all around the world. But the G7 Plus isn't about a club. It's about ensuring a world that favours freedom, an inclusive world order that ensures that all countries can engage, trade with each other, and all countries, wherever they are, whoever they are, can do so without coercion and can do so consistent with their sovereign interests.
And the cases here in the UK have gone from 3,000 a day to 7,000 a day. You've come into a country which is living with the virus. Do you have any concerns about that?
Well, I'm sure that all the normal health protocols are being observed, no doubt about that. It's a big undertaking to pull together a summit of this nature in a pandemic, and I commend the UK for pressing ahead and doing it in this way. You know, we've met on so many occasions over the past 18 months over screens. There's no substitute for leaders getting together and doing what we're doing now, and there's never been a more important time to be doing that. That said, it's a timely reminder about how the pandemic is raging. Whereas back in Australia, I understand, my latest report, there was 0 community cases in Victoria today. We welcome that, absolutely welcome that. But here in the UK, 7,000 cases a day in a country that has a vaccination rate on first doses well over 70%. Now, I welcome the fact that we're not seeing in this latest wave in the UK the level of fatality that we've seen on previous occasions. And I think that goes a lot to what the vaccine does to protect against serious illness. But any suggestion that vaccination rates in their 70s doesn't lead to a high number of cases, well, the UK experience, I think, is telling a very different story.